You've also been playing what's a crafting game, one might call it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, technically, Sam gets to jump in on this one with me too.
Yes, yeah. We've both. Well, you got a code for review, but we've both been playing.
Yeah, we could both review it together, which is a good.
Yeah. The new Sabre joint of basically expanding on the MudRunner, SnowRunner expeditions timeline of events and games, and making
the Spin Tires gaming universe.
Yes.
I like that. The Spin Tires gaming universe.
So this is more about where Expeditions was a spin-off that was really about like sort of scouting out an area and coming up with like recovering vehicles and delivering stuff back and forth. This is actively making the roads in which you're delivering stuff back and forth on way easier.
Yeah.
So you have a bunch of different vehicles. Some of them are crafting road related, like a paver and a steamroller. Some of them are like a dump truck for dumping sand and bulldozers for moving that stuff around. And then you have any number of heavy machinery cranes and all that type of stuff to move equipment left and right and get stuff out of ditches and stuff. And it's really fun. It's 4-player co-op, JJ. I don't know if you've been playing.
I've been doing it solo.
Yeah, it's very interesting because like there's certain aspects of the game that I think are like really enjoyable in 4-player, and then there's certain aspects of the game that I think are much better to do like by yourself singly.
Yeah, I can definitely feel some of the sections where I have that. Boy, I kind of wish I did have a couple other guys here.
Yeah, there's certainly like some of the missions you do is you plan routes for like delivery trucks basically. Yeah. And some of those trucks have 4-wheel drive and have diff lock like you do. And some of those trucks are just normal ass highway like 18-wheelers that have nothing but just forward and back. And sometimes getting those trucks to go on the roads that you have to get them to go is like not great. And you basically have to repave or even build brand new roads in some of these areas.
Yeah, there's like whole like you got to get the resources. You have to rebuild a bridge that's down.
And some areas are really easy because like dump trucks, you don't have to go to like the quarry and fill up there every single time, right? As long as you're within a radius of this quarry, you can fill up. But usually they're very smart about being like, oh, like you need to build this bridge or you need to build this road, which is just far enough outside of it.
Yeah.
So like you basically have to work on getting what is like 6 different vehicles down to the same one location to basically pave a road. So when you have multiple people, you can drive 4 of those vehicles. So somebody can have a hauler and drive a couple. But if you're by yourself, you're like driving every vehicle down there, and then you gotta go get sand, and you gotta come back, and so I need another couple buckets of sand and stuff. So it's like it's like one of those games that like I've been telling people that like if you just want like if your normal gameplay is like I play Forza Horizon and I just listen to a podcast or whatever, it's like this could be your new podcast.
Oh, sweet.
Because this is the like, okay, I have like 45 minutes. I'm just going to build this road. It only gets me about 10% of the way done with this mission, but I will feel very accomplished at the end of it. And then, I mean, there's always the fun of like hearing from your buddy that they've, they had a generator or something that they had to deliver for a mission, but they've rolled over. So then you have to drive your crane down and help them flip back over and stuff so they don't have to reset the mission. So it's very funny. It's one of those where it's like there is very clearly like the right tools for the job, and then there's the tools that you can do to sort of get around using the right tools for the job.
Yeah.
So like there was one mission where they're like, get this generator and take it to the other side of the map, and what they want you to do is like use this heavy crane to get the generator out, put it on the back of the heavy truck, and then drive that heavy truck to the location, meet it there with the crane, and unload it. Or what you can do, what I did was take the generator, like put it on the head of the truck, and then use the boom of the crane to hold it to the top of the truck. Oh my gosh! And then drove it all the way to
amazing.
Sometimes, I mean, the physics in these games have always just like, hey man, sometimes you just got to make do.
Yeah, and like there are clearly vehicles, like every time they introduce a new mechanic, you get like the rusty version of that vehicle.
Yeah.
And it's always like you could probably complete the whole game with the rusty version of the vehicle, but it is a pain in the ass to drive. Or like the dump truck, the rusty dump truck, it's like useless in comparison to the other dump trucks because they can hold like 3 times the amount of sand that original one can. So like it encourages you to like make, like, you're basically running a company, and you're like making money to buy new tools, and you know, it's slowly introducing you like to, okay, here's crafting roads, here's forestry, here's like making concrete and stuff like that. So there's like a bunch of different
you got your quarries, you got your like lumber yards, and like it's funny to just see the sort of natural progression that went from like the initial spin tires, where it's just like here's some weird trucks that have differentials that you're hauling logs from one place to another, all the way to this where it's like, oh, you're hauling everything, you're saving everything, you're building everything yourself,
and they've taken out like spin tires and mud tires and expeditions, like all had sort of more, let's say, simmy aspects of it that they kind of like stripped out.
Yeah,
so
they definitely made sure to make this more game friendly.
Yeah, there used to be like fuel consumption in your vehicles. You could get like halfway done with a mission, and then your car would just be stopped because you've ran out of gas, and like hopefully you had another truck to run gas to it. So all the gas stuff is taken out.
Sure,
like, you can like instantly recall. There's even like a master base vehicle that you can like drive around and recall any vehicle to it at any time and stuff. It costs like in-game currency, but it's very smart in playing it that way. And then also, I don't know if you've seen JJ, they've like Sabre has come out and said that they're going to be making changes. They essentially sold DLC before the game even came out. There was like a Renegade edition or something.
Oh wow!
That has like 2 new maps coming out by the end of the year and stuff. And they sort of hinted at there's no like building destruction or anything right now, but they've sort of hinted that there's a wrecking ball coming and stuff like that.
Oh wow!
So yeah, I mean, I'm only about like halfway maybe through it because you like
it's big.
Yeah, you basically complete a map and then it opens up another map with like 30 missions or whatever. So like
and there's 8 of them. There's 8 maps.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my group, like, basically you get the choice early on of like 1 of 2 missions to go to. So my group is playing like the top mission while I was doing like the bottom mission by myself. So like you can still take like all your money and all your vehicles like with you to like the other missions. So like if my buddy hasn't unlocked the bulldozer yet, I can show up with like all the bulldozers I own and help them out and stuff like that. So it's very smart. You know, these maps are very big. Like, I don't think anybody's going to complain about there not being like enough space or different environment biomes to drive around in. And then it's supposed to be after like sort of major storms. So there's like everything's pretty destructed and it looks like pretty similar. But they do fill it with some cute things like here and there. Like there are mini like toy Tonka trucks that you can pick up and sell in game. Like they make you a lot of money. These guys also worked on the Warhammer series, so there are Warhammer like steel cans around that if you pick up and they're worth like a lot of money and stuff like that. So they've done it where it's like there's like interactive elements in the map too. There's like a drainage pipe in one map that if you drop something through it will teleport to the other side. So like you could do it to like teleport resources, but you can't use it to teleport vehicles.
Yeah.
So they've done a bunch of like sort of like gamey things. Like Dying Light did this, where they almost were like, we understand we're a video game and that some of you are very serious to play Tonka trucks here, like you know, and then some of you are here just because you and the boys want to drive around some trucks and have a good time. So yeah, I think it's friendlier than something like a farming simulator is. Like I think it's like it's way more open and more of like, you know, oh, do I want to go in this evening and just spend an hour collecting debris and stuff to trade in for resources? Or do I actually want to build a road and start working on missions?
Yeah, I would say if you ever played like a MudRunner or a SnowRunner and it was too much, too complex in a way, or like it's asking because those games ask a lot out of you. Like we were talking about, like you're paying attention to a lot of stuff. you're paying attention to the gas and damage and water depth. You got your Death Stranding, like I have to push this button to see how what these sharp edges are on this hill if my truck can make it up and stuff. That stuff's all still kind of here, but they definitely definitely made it much more user friendly for somebody who is not into that. I have seen that there is a lot of pushback on that. Most of the negative reviews that you see right now are, I want that complexity, which is like, all right, like I get it, but
well, and it seems like they've added a hard mode to their roadmap.
Yeah.
So it seems like there will be like that sort of like.
I think there will be like a MudRunner version, like style version of this later on. It definitely seems like that's the plan. But as it is right now, I'd say like if these kind of have ever looked interesting to you, like this is the one to jump into. This one
absolutely the most like user friendly version,
most accessible by a long shot.
And I mean, don't get me wrong, there still is like, you know, like we have a friend who's not really into like driving games, and he like, you know, we got him to play this game and he's just sitting there and he's like, well, this is like the opposite of a game I would enjoy. Like, why did you guys like convince me this was a good idea?
You gotta push a bunch of different buttons if you want to like drive in the mud, you know. Like it's like,
well, and that's the other thing too, is like a lot of people that were real confident in themselves getting in here and then flipping their car real quick, and then being frustrated, and it's like it's a different style of like driving game. Like you got to be more focused.
One of the funniest. Oh, I'll let you go first.
Oh, I was just gonna say, it's like if open world games and stuff like that, the driving aspects are like the part you hate the most. Like this is absolutely not for you. Like there's no getting out of your car and doing anything else. Like this is 100% vehicles. You were behind the wheel the whole time.
Well, I was gonna say one of their more interesting takes on this is the VR version of MudRunner that they put out. Because you can get out of the car and wander around and do stuff, because you got to kind of like open doors and get gas cans and stuff for your car. And they start you with like the biggest garbage car you can get in the middle of a storm. So it's like, not only are you like slogging in a front wheel drive, Eastern European sedan, but like you also don't really have the tools to get through this efficiently, so they're really making you slog through it. And luckily none of these games have ever really done that.
No.
They usually give you something, they give you something of value, but I don't know, just something, the way they did it in the VR game was really funny to me.
The one complaint I do have about this game is and you'll hear it if you look at the other reviews, is that like the AI that to drive these routes, not the smartest in the world.
No, sack of rocks.
So you have to be you have to be like pretty detailed when you're like out like lining out their routes, because the first truck will make it and then the second truck will pretend that like the left turn doesn't start for like another 15 feet. And we'll like be like, you failed the mission, then you'll restart them right there and they'll be fine. And it's like, okay. But I will say my one complaint is that you can spectate the AI drivers, like when they're driving to location. So you can just kind of watch to make sure they're fine, but you can't spectate your friends. So it has a really cool.
I want to do.
It's so its map is really cool. So if you hit the map, it's basically like zooms out like the crew kind of, and you see like everything that's on the map. So you can watch as like almost little tiny Tonka Troys are driving around, like when your friends are like doing work, but you can't like hit Y or triangle to spectate them, to just like watch them, but you can the AI card. Like my buddy was saying, he's like, I'm working a job. Maybe I just want to go out for a cigarette real quick and watch you drive around.
Right.
And I was like, I totally hear you on that. Like, you know, you are just like, oh, I've got to like fold laundry, but I'll like hang out and talk to you guys. Like, I want to be able to watch you like move some sand around or whatever. So that would be my only complaint. But that map is fun. Like, I wish that you could almost play with like somebody playing as like your dispatch, where they can sit and they see like the whole map and they can like put like almost like, you know how Battlefield had that like dispatcher like mode for a while, where you could be like, everybody attack A, and then like a giant cone would be like hey, like I want that,
Yeah.
but for RoadCraft.
Like some of those rally games let you have a co-pilot, like actual
Yeah.
human co-pilot to tell you what to do.
Like just had like there
Yeah.
is like I think her name's Jane in the game.
Yeah.
Like they're they're
Yes.
like their story person.
Yes,
or
their
maybe
story,
it's
their
Emily or
plot.
whoever. She's just like sitting there and she's being like, telling you like, oh, they would like you to go get this and this. And it's like, I want somebody to be able to play that actual role.
Yeah, dispatch would be a really fun role in one of these games, man. Send them off. Listen, you need to get to, Tucson right now to pick up delivery of
Yeah.
Mhm.